Kenji Tanaka was a farmer's son. He knew the feel of cool earth between his fingers. He knew the satisfaction of a hard day's work under the hot sun. He knew the love of family and the comfort of tradition. He did not know war, not yet. The year was 1941. Japan, a nation yearning for resources and power, marched towards war. Kenji, barely a man at 18, received his draft notice. It was an order, a duty, a chance to prove his loyalty to the emperor. There was fear, yes, but also a sense of honor, of purpose. He was to become a soldier. Leaving his village was difficult. His parents, faces etched with worry, stood silently as he boarded the train. His younger siblings waved until he could no longer see them. Kenji carried their hopes, their fears, and the weight of his nation's destiny on his young shoulders. He joined thousands of other young men, all swept up in the tide of war. They were farmers, students, shopkeepers, all transformed into soldiers. They were united by duty, by fear, by the promise of glory. Kenji, like the others, traded his farmer's clothes for a uniform and his hoe for a rifle. He was ready to serve his emperor, ready to lay down his life for his country. His journey had just begun. The training camp was a shock. Gone were the familiar rhythms of the farm, replaced by the harsh cadence of military life. Days began before dawn and ended with exhaustion. Kenji's body, accustomed to the labor of the fields, was pushed to its limits. The drills were relentless. Marching, shooting, bayonet practice, all designed to forge the recruits into efficient killing machines. The instructors were harsh, demanding obedience and absolute loyalty. Kenji learned to obey without question, to suppress his fear, to embrace the warrior spirit. Amidst the brutality, a sense of camaraderie emerged. Kenji formed strong bonds with his fellow soldiers, sharing stories, laughter, and meager rations. They were brothers in arms, united by their shared purpose and their shared fear of the unknown. They trained under the ever-present gaze of the rising sun flag, a symbol of their nation's ambition and their own mortality. As weeks turned into months, Kenji felt himself changing. The naive farm boy was gone, replaced by a hardened soldier. He was no longer Kenji the farmer, but Kenji of the Imperial Japanese Army, a weapon in service of the emperor. The war, once a distant rumble, was drawing closer. Soon he would face his true test. The air was thick with the smell of salt, sweat, and fear. Kenji crouched in the landing craft, the roar of the engine a counterpoint to the frantic beating of his heart. Around him, his comrades were grim-faced, their eyes reflecting the flickering light of the explosions on the beach ahead. This was it. This was war. Guadalcanal. The name had been just a whisper in training, a distant battlefield in a vast ocean. Now, it was a living nightmare of fire and chaos. As the landing craft lurched onto the beach, machine gun fire ripped through the air. Men screamed, fell, and were silenced. Kenji, his mind a whirlwind of terror and adrenaline, scrambled up the beach, seeking cover behind the shattered remains of palm trees. The fighting was brutal, hand to hand, a desperate struggle for survival. Japanese and American soldiers clashed in the relentless heat, the jungle itself a silent witness to the carnage. Days blurred into nights, punctuated by the staccato rhythm of gunfire and the screams of the wounded. Kenji witnessed horrors he never imagined. He saw friends cut down, their bodies riddled with bullets. He saw the enemy, no longer faceless demons, but young men like himself, fighting and dying in the name of their own flags. The horrors he witnessed etched themselves onto his soul, leaving scars that would never fully heal.